The last time I spoke about LGBTQ rights and things like that, I was near this bookshelf, so I thought I'd do that again. I know the effect on the camera is pretty dramatic. I think that's helped it a little bit, actually. But I thought I would sit here again just to talk about Pride, because that's what we did this weekend. And yes, my hair is extremely wet and I am visibly tired. So I think it's clear that I need a break from priding for like 4 days. But it, like 75% of my time was really, really good. And the rest of it was just kind of terrible. But we'll go into that. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't want to take up too much of my time. It has definitely been a lot, like pretty intense and some parts stressful. So I just want to talk about our weekend. I'll touch on my sexuality a little bit. Don't take that in a weird way. I just realized what I said. And the pros and cons that I found, like personally, about Pride. And then just close off the video and let you enjoy the vlog. I vlogged parts of it, and I decided not to vlog part of it, and I'll explain why. But this weekend was really, really good. As with my Get Ready With Me, which was going to be part of this video, which I decided to post separately because I had to sort of rethink how I was going to do this vlog. The way the weekend started was that I had gone to an event run by the Council of Ex-Muslims, which was just reflecting on gay rights in the last like 20 years. And we had a lot of significant people there. We had Jimmy Bangash there, we had Kakan Qureshi there, we had a couple of other people there, and it was amazing, like to hear them talk about their experiences and the way they view the current political climate in terms of gay rights nowadays. It was really, really good. Halima Salat was there. She recited a poem for us, made us all cry. It was brilliant. And there was like a very small coming out ceremony, which was wonderful. And then we mingled, and, you know, I met a few new faces, and it was good. And then the next night, I was going to go out with a friend, but also at the CMB event, the Council of Ex-Muslims event, I got invited out by a few friends there to hang out, and that Friday night was pretty intense. I ended up drinking a lot, got very drunk, apologizing 100 times, and just at the end of the night feeling very guilty. I actually got locked out of my house and I had to stay over at Zara's house. But something that Zara told me really rang true with me, and it's one of the reasons that I really, really love her as a friend. Like she said, the first thing she did was tell me off for not calling her immediately when I found out that I was locked out. And when I got to her house, I was like crying. I cried in the cab. I was crying all the way. And the cab driver really made me feel comfortable. So if you're out there listening, thank you so much for doing that. Because he was just telling me about his dreams and aspirations, and me being an educator, I was sitting there half drunk, crying, being like, oh, you should so follow your dreams. And it was just really healthy for me to do that. But anyways, I got to a house and I was like crying because I felt so guilty that people had to take care of me. And I was trying to explain to her that when I go out, when I do anything fun, I always have to be the one that has the least fun because I'm the responsible one, you know. I was made like a surrogate mother at a really young age. I had to look after like 5 kids, 4 of whom actually were under the age of 10. So for me, having fun is only as much fun if I get to be the parent. And Friday night really saw me just go wild. Like I had only intended to have like 2 cocktails, maybe a shot. And then someone decided to buy me a cocktail, and I can't refuse cocktails when I'm drunk. And also the bartender, who we know quite well, he had poured us shots, and Alisha didn't want to have hers, so I was like, fuck it, I'm having hers. And I just, you know, lost my mind, and I was like apologizing 1,001 times by the time we met the others at the second bar. which was a jazz bar, and I only really went in there to pee. So yeah, and something Zara said to me was, you know, a lot of people in this country, being the UK, they grow up in this culture and they get to be stupid when they're 18, 19, 20. It's not, you know, fair for you to judge yourself based on the standard that everyone else can just handle their liquor, because I never got to do that. You know, I only like, I'm proud of it. I only started drinking like 2 years ago. And, you know, of course I'm gonna slip up. There's gonna be incidents, you know, I'm gonna be an idiot. And we'll laugh about it later, but in the moment I just felt so guilty. And as some of you may know, guilt is like one of my biggest triggers, is just being guilty. And I just felt so shameful and so guilty. And then, you know, even waking up the next morning feeling terrible, going home at like 12 o'clock, not having showered, you know, going in the same clothes as last night. The whole experience was just terrible. And I was like, why am I being so hard on myself? I had a good time, you know, I had fun. Yeah, the end of the night was shitty, but it was still good. But having vented all of that, that was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. Besides like the end part where I was like stressing out. And I think the next day, which was Pride in London, we had a Pride march here. I think I was glad to have, you know, had drinks beforehand, because the actual Pride Day was pretty crazy. And I think I'll go over that in a second. We went late. We went at like 3 or 4 o'clock. The trains were jammed. Some of the lines weren't working. And also, there were just so many people. Like, there were tourists there, people who just did not need to be in the Pride March were there. I mean, you know, it's a free country, you can do what you want. But I just felt like there was so many people there. And, you know, it was very congested. The march itself was amazing. We like followed it from end to end. It was beautiful. The bar scene was insane. Ed didn't come out with us on Friday night, so he wanted to go out on Saturday night, which was a bit much for me, and I had already told him that I probably wouldn't drink Saturday night. But I mean, we went there and it was so packed. Like, I couldn't move. I was feeling claustrophobic. It was bad. But the march itself was beautiful, and the spirit was there, and, you know, the people there were so lovely. But I'll get into that in a second, because that's going to be my pros and cons for Pride and what I would suggest if you were going to go to a Pride march. Touching on my sexuality a little bit, and yes, I understand how that sounds. Please do not abuse that. I don't know what my sexuality is, and I have speculated it, my boyfriend has speculated it, people have speculated it for some time, and I don't want this to be a big thing. Like, I personally don't like labels, because I like moving between ideas and shit like that. I know how pretentious that sounds, but I don't generally like labels. And this isn't a coming out video, I don't want it to be that big, but I think I do consider myself to be bi. And I say I think because I'm still exploring my sexuality. I'm only 24, I mean, it can change, but I think I am bi. And one of the things that has become apparent to me, because I actually went shopping for Pride material with Halima, one of the things that became apparent to me is that when I was a Muslim, when I was staunchly against gay rights as a Muslim, I used to say things like, being gay is a choice. And the reason I thought it was a choice before, like, I've said it on many podcasts, I didn't know what being gay was. I didn't know what a homosexual was. I just thought, to me, they were presented as degenerates, and that's what I thought they were. And I've changed, and I'm sorry for holding those opinions. But, I mean, it was my past. And the reason I would say that being gay was a choice was because I knew I was attracted to women, and I knew I would never act on it. But I was also attracted to men. So when people would be like, you know, being gay isn't a choice because these people are only attracted to one gender, I'd be like, well, I'm attracted to both men and women, but I would never choose to date a woman because that's haram, that's prohibited. And it didn't occur to me that that probably meant that I was bi. And having like thought about it over the last 2 years, I mean, I've had to deal with other stuff. I've had to deal with my family. I've had to deal with like multiple proposals, both in and outside of my family. And you know, having like been immersed in gay culture since meeting Ed, because our actual first date was to a gay bar, you know, and our exposure to that, I think I've, you know, come to the conclusion that I probably am most likely like almost 80% bi. I don't think I am partial to one gender or the other. And I did do a little poll on my Twitter page, which, you know, isn't a scientific method, but I mean, it opened my eyes a little bit, on whether or not I actually had to go and sleep with a woman to know whether or not I was attracted to a woman. And most people were like, I haven't slept with anybody, but I know I'm bi, or I know I'm gay. You know, heterosexual people most of the time don't need to like figure out that they're heterosexual, they just know. So, you know, that's given me a little bit of confidence, but I guess there's that small amount of doubt because I've never actually slept with a woman, and you know, I don't really intend to. I'm in a committed relationship. But, you know, thinking about it, I don't think I'd be completely opposed to sleeping with a woman. So that's, I think I can put a lid on my sexuality. For those of you who are wondering, and for myself, now that I figured that out, again, it's not going to be like a super emotional coming out. I mean, I've been kicked out of my house. My family's never going to accept me. I've gotten past that. But, you know, I think that's where I'm at with my sexuality, I think. I mean, I'll update you if it changes, but, you know, whatever. Going into Pride, pros and cons, I have like a little list. In terms of the pros, let's do the cons. Let's do the cons first. Let's get those out of the way. The two things that I did not like about Pride is, one, being groped. Like, people so freely grope each other. I didn't like that. And I can understand why some people would be like, children shouldn't go to the Pride Parade. There are family sections. I can't remember which area it was in, but if you go to Pride in London, the actual website, they actually have locations for just family stuff. Like, if you go down Soho during the Pride Parade, don't take your kid there. First of all, they'll be crushed by the amount of people that are there. And second of all, I personally would not consider it appropriate because there's, you know, a lot of lingerie flowing about, a lot of groping, a lot of, you know, risque dancing and behavior. But there are family areas, and that's why I would say that Pride as a whole is, you know, shouldn't be said that it's unsuitable for children, because the Pride in London, the march that we have here, we do have family orientated, like a family orientated section. I believe it was in Trafalgar Square this year, but I'm not sure. Please do check that out. It's probably still up on their website. But the first thing was that I was not too happy about how many times I got groped. And for those of you who are wondering if that was the sexual harassment case that I had to report today, that wasn't it. So don't worry about it. You know, I guess like at the time I just felt like, oh yeah, everybody's just super comfortable with each other. But me being an introvert and me being like very, very protective of my personal space, it wasn't the most fun for me. And yeah, it's not a general highlight of the gay community that they just grope you, but it wasn't fun to go through that at something that I'd never been to before, you know, and I didn't have, fresh expectations, no expectations, and it just wasn't very fun to be groped by a bunch of strangers. The second thing was, if you are looking to join the bar scene or the drinking scene in the middle of the day, which I and Ed tried to do, even though I was not intending to drink, I was just going to follow him to a bar and just hang out there. And I believe that the ex-Muslim guys who went there that day also went to a bar and were like, come out, we're doing shots. And I was like, fuck no. There exists no personal space in the drinking scene at Gay Pride. There is no personal space. She doesn't exist. We don't know her. She doesn't go here. She is gone. There is no personal space at Gay Pride on the drinking scene. We went there and I was having like a panic attack because I was so claustrophobic. We could not move. We were stuck in, a human fish can for like 40 minutes, and I I was like crying, I was like panicking, I was trying to stay as close to my boyfriend as I possibly could while I was moving through the sea of human beings. And those were my cons for gay pride. Like, if you are not about that, if you value your personal space like I do, like I could not even like hug a human being until I know that person, then it probably isn't for you to go to the drinking scene until like it's petered out a little bit, which it doesn't tend to, because Soho is pretty packed even on a regular Tuesday. So yeah, that's what I would say were the cons of my experience. It might be different for you, but the pros were just the air of celebrating who you are as a human being. Like, we saw people from all walks of life. We saw all races, all colors, all sexual orientations, all kinks, all everything. All ages even. Like, it was just beautiful to see this just stream of people just being happy and dancing and, listening to music and, just parading. That was it. Like, I actually, like, we only spectated the parade from the outside, so we weren't in the actual parade. I don't think I could have survived if I was in the actual parade unless we were like on top of a float or something. But we were spectators from a reasonable distance, and it was still like pretty crazy. Like, there were people standing on poles and statues and waving their flags and all kinds of flags as well. Like, the flag creativity was 10 out of 10, and it was just nice. Like, we didn't really make any friends because I was pretty tired, I was pretty antisocial, and I just wanted to see the parade. And it was my first pride parade to see, but I definitely thought that it was a good idea for us to like get our drink on the night before so that I didn't need to do that the next day when it was packed. And yeah, it was just nice. The last thing that I will say is a con about Pride would be like the businesses. Like, I wasn't too happy about like it. I'm very skeptical of businesses, as you've probably seen. Like, whenever a business does anything good, I'm just like, they're just trying to make money out of it. And to be fair, that is probably a reason. And there are a couple of people who were holding posters that I could resonate with. That was like, our sexuality isn't for sale. It's not a business ploy, and everything felt very gimmicky. Some of it, anyways. But I mean, Cole, who I used to do a podcast with, Out of the Fold, which they now have a YouTube channel. He said something that I agree with. I fully agree with. Like, I don't really care about the intentions of a company as long as they're promoting the right thing. And it happened with the Gillette commercial, which was about toxic masculinity. Yeah, I agree. Toxic masculinity is bad, and yes, Gillette probably was doing that in order to sell their razors. But as long as the right message is sent out and, nobody's getting harmed, I'm okay with it. I'm all right. So yeah, that would be my opinion on that. That was my little like pride vlog. I will now go into the actual vlog of us. Like, there's a couple of things. Our body paints, Ed's makeup, the pride parade, and some like select photos that I took that day. But yeah, that was my weekend, and I hope you guys had a brilliant Pride weekend. Better than mine. I've seen some of the pictures come out from CEMB. They look gorgeous, and I'm jealous because I wasn't invited to be there. I mean, you don't have to invite me. Let's be real. I'm tiny. My voice is little. But yeah, go check out, I think his Twitter handle is gspellchecker. He's posted a couple of really beautiful pictures, really funny pictures, some of them. Zara was there for a little bit. I think she went there to drink at the end of the night. I don't know how, because I could not have done that. I cannot drink that much in 2 days. So yeah, I hope you had a great Pride weekend. And I'm just gonna rest. We're gonna do some cooking, maybe go see Spider-Man later. But yeah, thanks for being here, thanks for watching, and like I always say, these vlogs are for you, so you can have an experience of Pride if you just simply don't get to go. This year was my first year at Pride. I don't know if I'll go next year. I probably will if I get invited out by people. I would want to go in a group next time, sorry. But yeah, enjoy the vlog, and I hope you enjoyed your Pride, and you know, be proud of who you are. Don't know why I did that. Anyways, goodbye, and see you in the near future. Meeting up with Halima to do some Pride shopping. Me beach. I'll see you guys later. I know I'm acting weird. I'm just excited to meet Halima. I actually met her last night, but I am going to meet her again today for some lunch and then to do some Pride shopping. So I will, I don't know if I'm going to film that, but I will see you then. Goodbye.
I'm taking a video of Faye being drunk.
So fucking drunk. Everyone's fucking drunk.
Right now, so I'm just going to like take her back to mine. Yeah, so because I'm going to be coming to yours tomorrow morning.
I just made a friend.
I thought that was your friend already.
Huh?
I'm taking. Yeah, but she's not drunk now. Why is she not drunk?
She's sobered up because of McDonald's and the queue. Look at that queue.
But they're talking something serious now. Take a photo of the three of us. Turn it on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You gonna swagger?
You
gonna swagger for the camera?
I always swagger. Check out my swagging way of locking the door. Oh, you're recording?
Yes.
Nice. I don't know if this is the actual parade itself. But
It looks like it.
It could be a segment of it.
Well, I mean, we'll have a look around. Let's not get so snickety. Okay?
Check out the dude wearing the YOLO clouds, the pink one. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's just gone behind the truck.
Oh, this is the parade. Parade line.
It's pretty damn cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder where our guys are.
I love that gender neutral toilet.
awesome.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nice for them to have a gender neutral toilet.
But this is what they fight for.
I think we can. I don't know what this is.
It's pretty cool. I don't know. I think we're part of the parade now.
Huh? Oh.
These are really cool. I love these things that like fire around those little buses.
Ah.
Like, look at all those balloons.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
You know it's gay when they have that many balloons.
Oh, hey. Hey.
Hey. You're not gonna roll up your sleeves.
Huh?
You're not gonna roll up your sleeves. Show off those arms. Show off those arms, baby. What?
I was just thinking, there's a, from what I remember, there's actually an original Stonewall bus that goes around.
Oh, really?
Like the founding members of Stonewall, they go on a bus.
Oh.
I don't know if their bus is still going, but it's really cool.
Huh?
It was defend LGBTQ.
Yes.
Did you see that sign?
Yes. see our guys though.
Yeah.
CMB lot.
You haven't seen them yet.
Didn't see him yet. Alright, there's one religious nut. I think we saw another one earlier.
I mean, I hope that our friend on the ex-Muslim float, who's an activist, I hope that they come up with a tagline of Allah being gay. I hope they came through with that.
I think they will. I'm not sure. So we've seen 2 religious nuts so far. Which is like a lot less than I thought we would see.
A lot less?
Yeah. I thought we would see a lot more religious nuts.
Born for prep? I don't know what that
is. Is there anywhere specific you wanted to just stand?
Do you want one of these? Do you want a flag or anything?
I'm okay.
Huh?
I'm okay. It's kind of gimmicky.
I know, but it's like... Oh shit, it's a
Oh, I like this place. Look, Ed.
Wait, it's a furry, ooh-woo.
Where?
Those guys at the front, ooh-woo, ooh-woo, ooh-woo.
Don't hate on someone's lifestyle. Let him be.
I love it.
Let him be. Sorry. All the companies do it. Like I said, it's a gimmick.
To the front, yes. I've got an I'm just really trying
It's just people having a good time. It is a fuck ton of people though. All we can see is like heads. Deliveroo. Nice.
I don't know if that's a gimmick or not, because Deliveroo, I know, I've heard some horrible things about Deliveroo drivers.
Yeah? What things have you heard about delivery?
It's kind of really bloody rude drivers.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, just weird delivery drivers.
They can't control all their employees though. I don't know what that is.
It's a Chinese gay rice book.
Oh, it's cool.
That's pretty cool. They put some serious fucking work into it.
What?
Like, look at those balloons. They put some serious work.
Yeah. I wonder, I can't see the front of it, but I wonder if they made it like a dragon.
A dragon?
Yeah.
Like a rainbow type dragon.
Yeah.